I want to just say for the record, I didn't like this one that much. This podcast.
I mean, neither did I, but I always find that I don't like them when we record them, and then I listen back and I'm like, hey, this is pretty all right.
I don't know, man. I feel like
Yeah,
say
still, maybe this one is rough.
this one might be a one. Disregard this one, yeah? If you're listening to this, just don't listen to this one. We talk about They Might Be Giants. Vincent, why are you like this?
I'm like this because of my mother, says Freud.
Right.
Why are you like this?
I'm like this because of my father, says my psychiatrist.
Good on him.
Good on him. He retired.
Your father or the psychiatrist?
Well, both, I guess.
That's horrible.
Do you want to talk about They Might Be Giants?
Nah.
Nah? Okay, let's talk about something else then.
So They Might Be Giants,
Okay.
like, they're releasing that new album.
Right.
And it's
No,
like,
save this
like
to the end of the podcast.
Okay.
We've got to do the intro first.
Right. Sorry. What have you been up to, Tim?
I've been watching this fun show called Why Are You Like This?
This brand new show directed in part by Mark Bonanno of Auntie Donna fame and Naomi Higgins, and also a person called Hum that I don't remember the last name of.
The creators are Mark Samuel Bonanno, Naomi Higgins, and Humyara Mabab. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
You're not.
Yeah, I know I'm not.
So the show, I was expecting it to be funny, but I was not expecting it to be.
It's on iView.
Yes,
I watched the first. I watched the first 2 episodes. That's what we agreed
the
on.
whole series.
And Vincent ended up watching the whole thing
because I'm just like that. I wasn't expecting it to be good, really. But it was really good, and the characters were likable. I don't know if likable is the right word, but they're very relatable.
Sure.
And and I think they're very
Well, perhaps instead of the show relying on them being some people you can empathize with, in order to endear you to them, perhaps it's relying on you relating to their flaws. In order to, get you invested in them as characters.
I definitely see a lot of myself and a lot of the people around me in the characters of the show.
I'm calling you out, Jacob.
Yeah, fuck you, Jake.
So I took notes on the first 2 episodes.
Tim took notes, but I watched all of
as
the
we
episodes.
agreed to do. But that's fine.
Yeah, I think we should say the setting of the show.
The setting of the show is in Melbourne, right?
It's set in Melbourne. It's set, I believe, in 2019 when it was filmed, but fairly modern. They all have the iPhone 11. Which are good on them, I suppose.
And it's about 3 young adults.
3 young adults living together, kind of living together. I'm not actually sure what their living situation is.
I think that they live separately, or maybe 2 of them live together. They're the sort of people. It's a group of friends that hang out a lot, and so semi-live together.
It's sort of like rather incestuous friendship group that you come to expect.
Like all the best friendships.
Like all the best friendships.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
That classic
Phineas
friendship.
and Ferb.
The most incestuous of the friendships.
Elsa and Anya. Anyway, all of
I don't
them.
know who that is.
Elsa and Anna from Frozen.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Have you not seen Frozen?
I've seen Frozen.
How many times have
haven't
you
seen
seen
Frozen.
Frozen?
Well,
Clearly not enough.
maybe twice, but like when it came out.
Right.
Or
I saw
around
it
the time it
in
came
theaters. I saw it in theaters when it came out.
out. I might
And I
have.
just had a rockin' time, and then I hid it from all my classmates because they were all like, "Frozen's bad, and it's a girls' movie."
Damn.
So I was like, "Yeah, no, I hate Frozen too. Stupid."
You hated Frozen too?
I didn't see Frozen 2.
Me neither.
Um,
I hope Olaf's doing alright.
he has magic on him, so he doesn't melt during the summer.
Oh, that's nice.
So he can experience summer now.
That's beautiful.
Elsa got a cold, and then she started summoning little baby snowmen when she sneezed.
This sounds like a Ben Folds 5 song.
So that was the plot of Frozen 1.5, the 20-minute short film between Frozen and Frozen 2.
Oh. Like that comic that they released in between Portal and Portal 2.
The Ratman one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read that.
I think I might have
think-
read some of it.
It sounds kind of good. I remember Matt
like the
had
art
always
style.
referenced it in his Portal theories. Oh, the art style is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love comics.
You sure do.
I've been reading a bunch of comics because I've been
It's 609.
trying to do my.
Well, not anymore, but it was 609.
Oh, yeah. It's like 69, but with like a little piggy in the middle.
Yeah. It's like 69 in jail.
What do you mean 69 in jail?
Like when you're trying to 69 through the jail cells, but there's like a wall in the middle.
There's just a pig in the middle, and
Yeah.
that sucks, dude.
So should we go through my notes? Is that how we should structure it? And then you can tell me what you think, or how do you want to structure
You
this
know what? I was
conversation?
gonna talk to you about my Studio Arts exploration proposal. Mm-hmm.
Maybe save
and how
that
I've
for the
been-
Studio Arts Exploration Proposal podcast we have coming up.
Fine. Okay.
No, we can talk about it if you want.
No, give me your notes.
I mean, okay. Well, I feel
So
bad
for my
now.
Studio Arts exploration proposal, I've been looking at a lot of comics, and I've been like, because I'm a comic artist, kind of, and
By that he means he's like a serious artist, like he does portraits, but he's just like very comical.
I laugh while I do it.
Like he just slips on a banana peel and drops his portrait.
Oh right. I pretend to be trapped behind a glass wall, but also at the same time I'm doing a beautiful oil painting
That's a mime.
of two widows
Yeah,
crying. And
because you slipped over on a banana peel.
no, the widows are crying, not me.
No,
I'm
the widows
laughing my head
are
off.
crying because you slipped over on a banana peel, and they were so upset
Oh right.
by that.
No, yeah. So yes. So I'm doing a comic. So I needed to collect a bunch of
An original, or are you referring to the comic that you're already?
I am doing the epilogue to Panoodle.
Is that your Studio Arts project?
That is my Studio Arts project for the year. Actually,
Wow. I'm excited to see
and-
how it turns out.
on the journey, I'll be releasing like zines and stuff, and so it's all very exciting, and I'm excited to do that.
Do you think they shortened magazines to zines because because of the whole MAGA thing, and they didn't want that in the word anymore?
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
so they've just made them zines now.
Well, zines have only been around since 2016.
Yeah.
When Trump started campaigning for presidency. So
Because
it checks
they're
out.
like little, and so he can't hold them in
He
his
can't-
grubby hands.
Oh no, they're little. So they're just the right size for his little hands.
Oh, right, sure, yeah.
No.
I was thinking had little like grub hands, and it's like his thumbs were too
Oh,
big
right.
to flick through the pages.
So what it was when they invented the zine, they were like, man, these are so small that like people are gonna think we designed them for Donald Trump's hands. So if we remove the MAGA in the title of it, then people won't think that anymore. So we'll be
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Back in 2016 when zines were invented by a board of directors.
By MG Zine.
Shyamalan.
That's my favorite Skrillex song.
I like Bangarang.
Yeah, I guess
That's
so.
the only Skrillex song I know.
That's probably the only one I know.
Let's hear your notes.
My notes.
Yeah.
You're done with the political commentary. You don't want us to take a political angle. All
What's
right.
the political angle again?
We were talking about Donald Trump's little grub fingers. You
All
know,
right. Make America great again. Am I right?
next week CNN will be on it. Is that a news company? NBC? Is CNN?
CNN is a news company. Yeah. It's
So I just get confused with all the acronyms.
Central Network Nuts,
Right.
and then
Man,
SBS.
from now on, this podcast anti-politics. We hate politics.
I hate politics.
This podcast is politically incorrect.
Tim, I love talking about politics.
Yeah.
Is that just me? I feel like. Do you like talking about politics?
Yeah. Well,
I honestly, I love
it depends.
I think
because
it's
sometimes
like probably one of my favorite things to do.
it's not always fun. If
I
depending on
literally
who
am
you're
always
talking.
talking about politics.
But it depends on
like
who you're
even with
talking
my
about it
mum,
with.
it's fun because she just gets so like antsy and like special about her like.
I find
silliness.
it tiring sometimes.
She also listens to this podcast. I'll just leave it.
Okay. So my notes on
Your
the
notes.
TV show Why Are You Like This?
Yes. Your no.
Number 1,
Yes.
I liked the sensitivity training bit. I thought that was funny.
That was quite funny.
Mainly because of the person who does it. There's a bit where one of them goes to sensitivity training in the first episode. Mia, I believe her
Because-
name is.
Yeah.
And the
Or is it
sensitivity,
Penny?
huh? No,
Doesn't
Penny
matter.
is oh no, sorry, it is Penny.
I think it's Penny,
Yeah, it's
and then
Penny.
the other one is Mia.
The other one's Mia, and then the other
Then the
one's,
other one is
Austin.
Augustus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin. That's right.
So I've only watched the first 2 episodes. You know, give me a break.
Sorry.
I really enjoyed that bit, and it was done by Susie Youssef, was the sensitivity training person, and I've seen them in a few other things. They've been in Rosehaven. I think I've seen some stand up of theirs as well. I just thought the delivery was
Rosehaven.
very funny.
Or as I call it, Raven.
That's really good.
Oh no, I have actually seen Rosehaven.
Yeah,
I kept thinking I recognized people in that show.
yeah,
Probably because they're Australian comedians and I watch a lot of Australian comedy. What?
yeah. And like
That's
some of them.
weird.
I don't, there's in the second episode there was the person from Mad as Hell was in it. One of the people that worked at the group of women that worked at the office that the Penny's company was going to.
Yeah.
One of them is part of the main cast of Mad as Hell.
I don't actually know Mad as Hell.
Oh, okay. It's an ABC show about like
Right.
current affairs, but it's
Oh, that
like
makes
very silly. Arnie Donner have been
One
on
of
it.
them comes back.
And
One of those
Michelle
women
Brazier
comes
was
back.
part of the cast for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, Michelle Brazier is a central character in episode 6.
Oh, that's fun.
It's quite cool. Fun.
Yeah. So I liked that bit. I liked the sensitivity training bit. I thought that was funny. Just the delivery generally.
I really, really liked the cow insemination bit.
That was pretty fun. Yeah.
I thought that was very, very funny. And I
Yeah.
thought like it was just like a perfect like short little sketch thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, and I did like the cum joke. She sent out a tweet saying, "My new job has me loaded with sperm," because she was because she was.
They probably
inseminating
had, like,
cows.
200 cum jokes throughout the show, and that was the one they didn't cut. The second note I have is
Yes.
is just that this is very full on.
Oh. Well, when was that?
In the first episode. Just like I found, and I was skeptical on the first episode. I enjoyed the second episode a lot more, spoilers, but the first episode I found to be like, man, these people are so unlikable. Like, Mia
Yeah.
is like just, and then there's like Austin, like is like says he wants to give someone AIDS. Like, it's amusing.
No,
it's
that was
funny.
quite funny.
No.
That was quite good.
I thought it was funny, but I wasn't at that point. And I mean, it is the pilot. They were clearly just
Honestly, I
establishing
think
the
Mia
characters.
is the most likable character in the show.
I think that, so in the first episode, I thought they were seemed like all like very reprehensible people, and I wasn't particularly like, I was like, what? Where is this show going? What is it trying to do? You know?
Right. I do like the prevailing theme throughout the show where they just like they continually ruin people's lives, and they just like shrug it off.
Yeah. But I was like, is this just like, are they just saying cancel culture is bad? You know? And it's like,
Right.
sure, but
When
also,
yeah.
but also like, you know, and I mean, they do come across as very toxic Twitter people, you know,
But I think the show itself is very like it's written by people. It's written by the people in the show. You know.
yeah.
Like
Well,
like it's
the other thing is that in the second episode, it becomes, I feel like there's more redeeming stuff about them, or like,
Right.
so I think they're more likable in the second episode. They're still flawed, but in the first episode, I don't think that Mia does a single redeeming thing. Like, I don't think they do anything that made me think that, like, oh, they're fun. You know,
Yeah.
it was funny. It was funny, but it was like, it was just like,
Yeah.
it was just very full on, I felt like. And I think that's probably just because they were trying really hard to establish the characters.
You love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I find it so funny hearing out of your mouth, there is not a single character that I like in this show. I can't stand it.
But It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia sort of, I think it's very clearly getting at stuff about like, these people are bad and like, but it's also like observing and making fun of certain, I guess, social norms or something. I don't know. I just felt like, sure, these people are bad, but I don't really feel like I understood what it was getting at by saying these people were bad. Because it's like, these aren't real people.
Sure. The problem is, like, they are kind of...
Sure, but I think that like it gets
Like,
better.
I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but there's like a person in your philosophy class, who I can definitely see.
But like the idea, right, that like I think it was just the thing that like a character whose only personality trait is that they try and they like try and get out of situations they don't like or get whatever they want by calling people sexist or racist is like it set alarm bells off in my head, because I was like, that is not a real person, you know?
Right.
Like,
Sure.
that no, there's no one who just like, or I mean, I think out of context of the rest of the show, it would appear like they're just saying that in certain moments in the first episode that it's like that there's just some people that aren't actually oppressed but utilize their status or like their utilize their the oppression of their
Sure.
cultures to get whatever they want, and like have no redeeming qualities. And I mean, I don't think that's what the show, I think the show is trying to say something more subtle than that, potentially more a thing about how like middle class people
Yeah.
don't necessarily middle or upper class people don't necessarily or it's missing the point of the actual, I don't know. But I think that the second
that
episode was
they
a lot
definitely-
better at
Yeah.
like making them more likable and redeemable, and actually like showing them try to be good people at points, sort
Sure.
of, and like it still backfires, but I don't know.
It's less self-centered. Right.
Well, it's just
And
less full
I
on,
think-
you know. It's like
Yeah.
I just felt like that character was a bit one note in the first episode.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I think definitely like the show would not go over so well for me if the writing room was different, or was not like clearly people making fun of themselves.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like
Because I think it is very like
yeah,
it is very self-referential, and yeah.
definitely. I think the first episode, if I saw that and thought it was written by a bunch of like
If I saw that and
centrists
thought
or
it was
something,
written by Auntie Donna, I would be pissed.
I'd be very confused.
Centrist.
But if it was written by like, I don't know, people that I feel like I'm just rambling at this point.
What's your next note?
My next note is that I like it when shows, when like the sort of 20-minute sketch shows, 20-minute comedies, sitcoms, like tie everything back together at the end really well. I think that's real fun.
That is quite nice, isn't it?
Like, I think Arrested Development was really good at doing it, and they did it in the first episode with like with the guy being like, "Are you okay?" and then he has the ring on his finger.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that was fun.
that was a very good ending, a very solid, very funny ending.
We do recommend you watch the show.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
My next note is episode 2 intro funny.
Wow.
Because I liked the intro to episode 2. I thought that was amusing. I mean,
What
I don't know.
happened?
Honestly, it might. I mean, I was rambling a whole lot about the first episode about like I was like trying to figure out why I find the characters likable or what wasn't clicking for me as much as the second episode. I feel like maybe the jokes just land better in the second episode
Yeah, yeah.
because this joke it's like.
This joke is so funny, guys.
I mean, it's just I think the timing of it works well, like of the cutting off the scream into the intro credits.
All right. I love cut-off screams.
Yeah.
And that one was done super well,
It was done pretty well.
especially that other bit in the joke.
Do you
that I
you have
remember.
no clue what I'm talking about?
No.
The intro
Yes.
consists of a person giving a presentation at Penny's workplace, and they're saying, "Mr. Customer," referring to the customer,
Oh.
and then
No, that was quite funny.
and then
Yeah.
Penny's like, "It can't be Mr. Customer. That's sexist."
Yeah.
And then he says, "Okay, Mrs. Customer."
Mrs.
And
Customer.
then Penny's like, "Why,
Why
are you?"
does she have to be married?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
he says, "Fine, the customer, whether it be a man or a woman, because
Yeah.
we can all agree that it's one of those two." And then she stands up and she's like, "No," and then it cuts off.
No, that was quite good.
I mean, I think just the timing of that worked really well. And I think there's a lot of shows that just have pilots that just are a little jankier than the rest of the show, you know?
Sure.
The pilot wasn't that bad though, but I just think the second episode I enjoyed more.
Do you remember the pilot episode of Sherlock?
I probably
Where
do.
it was like, it was actually quite good. And then they remade the pilot episode, but with like all this extra stuff, and like they doubled the time. And it was like just a little bit less good.
I just feel like every time I hear about Sherlock, like that's not a show I think about much, but then it gets brought up by like there's several people I know that will bring it up, and for like a
Is
solid.
it several people? I thought it was just me.
No, I feel like there's other people that like have bring it up and like just for 5 minutes just like try and re-explain the points made in a single video that they've all watched. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like that you haven't seen the video though.
No,
you just
but
you know everything.
I
that's said in it.
I enjoy H Bomber Guy, but I have not seen his video on Sherlock that apparently everyone else has.
Damn.
Because I honestly
for-
don't think that any of those people
To
would have
be
strong
honest-
opinions on Sherlock had they not watched that video.
To be honest, I think that H Bomber Guy's argument in that video that Sherlock doesn't work as a crime as like a crime solving show is flawed, because that's not what the show is. But I think it's still nevertheless a frustrating and.
But also the bits I
and
enjoyed,
pointless show.
the bits I enjoyed the most were the crime solving bits.
Yeah, but it's not a whodunit. You're not meant to be able to work it out.
Sure, right. But like I don't think there are many crime shows. Like if you look at what like if you look at any crime show, like if you say look at those weekly crime shows where it's just a new murder in this small town every week, then like then those shows I don't think are like meant to be able to be. I don't think you're meant to be able to figure out who did it from the start.
Oh no, I think those ones are like specifically like Midsummer Murders and stuff like that. I think you're meant to be able to.
But I mean, you're
work
meant to
those
be
ones
able to
out.
speculate. But there aren't.
Sure.
I don't think there are like the answers were concretely right in front of you the whole time, and if you just noticed more subtle details, you'd know. Because usually it's just like this person's acting sus.
Sure.
And like it's just a bunch of people acting suspicious, and you're meant
and
to
it's
guess
just- and
which
it's just a
suspicious
picture
person
of a- It's just a picture of an Among Us person.
Yeah, and then it was
You're
like,
like, this person's acting sus, and then it's a trash can that kind of looks like the Among Us.
honestly, it's just like
Man.
Scooby-Doo for adults.
It's just like Scooby-Doo.
Midsummer
for adults.
Murders is Scooby-Doo for adults.
Honestly, I think
I feel like I've just been like, I don't like a lot of what I've said this episode, but what I just said was on point.
no, I totally agree with you. But also, I like Midsummer Murders.
Well, yeah, but
From what I remember,
Scooby-Doo's
from what I
good.
remember, it's like it's just like a very like, it's a pretty show. Yes. I also love Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo is
I'm
better.
beginning to see a pattern here. Yes. No, it obviously is better. Do you know there's only 2 seasons of Scooby-Doo, and one of them isn't even that long?
But there's
I'm
been a
not
bunch
I'm
of
not sure if
different
that's
Scooby-Doo
true.
shows.
Yeah, they did a bunch of new shows. I'm just gonna look this up. How many seasons of the
Do you remember the Harlem
original Scooby-Doo?
Globetrotters stuff?
What?
You know the Harlem Globetrotters, the basketball team, were in a bunch of Scooby-Doo episodes.
I did not know that. It ran for 3 seasons. Okay, I've only seen the
Much
first
like
one
Sherlock.
and half of the second one. Did it run for 3 seasons?
I don't know.
And there was a movie as well. It doesn't matter. It's like
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Do you have any other notes?
I do. Ep 2 a lot better than Ep 1.
Right.
I just enjoyed
So you said that.
episode 2 more.
Yes, you did.
Another bit I have is, I don't know if you noticed this, there's a joke where they're trying to get Austin and Mia are trying to retrieve a tampon, I believe.
It's a Diva cup.
Sure.
And then they spill it on the couch.
spill it-
and they're
they-
like, I
they
didn't
make the
realize it
couch-
would be so jammy.
Yeah, and they make the couch gross. And then
Yeah. And
Penny comes in and sits on the couch without noticing.
and there's like a really loud squelch.
Yes, the sound effect played. I think I'll
That was quite funny.
I'll edit it in.
Guys, I had the worst day today.
I'll edit in the sound effect if I can be bothered.
Thank you.
If I can be bothered.
If you can be bothered.
But
Because we did want to get this episode out like soon after the TV show's release, so it has maybe a little bit more
salience.
I don't know what that word means, but it sounds like salt. And
yeah, it sure does.
like saline solution, is that salt? Where you put it into your head and then the people do the donuts on their head, but with like the
I have no clue what you're talking about.
it's gross. It was in Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Salience is similar to prominence, apparently.
That's fucking crazy. So yeah, we did want to do that, but probably it will take a few weeks to edit.
Well, I don't think it'll take a few weeks to edit. It'll take a few weeks for me to bother to be like,
Yeah,
oh, I should
yeah,
actually
yeah.
edit this.
So Tim, what I'm saying in my usual passive-aggressive, snarky
Is that I should edit
tone
this
is
soon,
that you
yeah.
need to edit this tonight or tomorrow,
I can do that.
just for my sake.
I've also was planning on doing homework tonight, but whatever.
Okay.
Penny sitting on couch sound effect funny.
Yeah, no, that's a good note. That's a good note. Is there any more?
There's one more note.
One more note. Okay, make this count.
Episode 2 ending funny. I can't even remember what the ending was, but apparently
Neither
I found
can
it
I.
funny.
It was very funny.
What happened?
Penny and Mia, they both did big farts, and then Austin walked into the room and he said,
stinky.
"Oh, yuck!" Yeah, and then
The ending might have just been the whole sitting on the couch thing. And then,
Oh, right.
and then,
And then you wrote it twice.
well, I mean, I think I just meant like generally because there's also the bit where like Penny's
Right.
like, oh, and I got my period when she
Oh,
stands
and I
up
got
and
my
she sees
period
that, like,
too.
yeah.
There was a very extended scene of him like reaching up her vagina to get that diva cup. It was
Yeah.
very.
That's pretty painful to watch.
It was a little uncomfortable.
It just sounds like a
actually,
bad time, bad situation.
and it made
to be
me
in.
like, yeah, it made me really like consider, like how that must have been to film.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, definitely.
Anyway,
And I also really like that there's an old man in the other room that you never see, but you just hear through the
that was quite funny, and he's like, "Periods, ew."
yeah,
That was quite funny.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I think that concludes the intro. Today we were talking about the They Might Be Giants song, John Lee Super Taster. Did you get a chance to listen to that song?
I did not get a chance to listen to that song, but I think we should
Right.
note that we have like 3 minutes maybe to do the bulk of this They Might Be Giants podcast. So keep that in
Right.
mind.
So I thought this was just a really fun song. It's off the
I thought
They
you were
Might Be
going to talk
Giants
about the new album that was coming out.
I haven't heard. There's no more news on it.
You were going to
so
say
it's
something about it at the
pointless.
start, though.
The new They Might Be Giants album is supposed to release early 2021, but it probably was postponed because of coronavirus. It's called Book, and I'm super excited for it because it will be their first original music that is not part of Dial-A-Song for the last 5 years.
Wow.
But I just have no idea what's going to happen with that. Anyway, John Lee Super Taster released in 2006, I think, on the No album.
I would have
That's
been
one of
3.
That's one of their They Might Be Giants kids albums. 2002, I just checked.
I would have been -1.
Wow, and you are a -1 even now. I thought this was a really fun song. It starts off with a news report, or not even a news report, just a man telling the story of how he came into contact with John Lee, who is apparently a famous super taster. And I'm not even sure if a super taster is a real thing, but I thought it was just like, it's a fascinating concept, and it's a really interesting song. It just like, it details all of the things that John Lee would taste more if he did taste them. So, for example, when he tastes a pear, it's like 1,000,000 pears. And some things are too much. So some things are just too much for him to taste. And so I thought that was a really interesting, fascinatingly written song. There is an R. Wappen music video that goes along with it, which was left unfinished. R. Wappen is a minor figure in the Weird Al / They Might Be Giants / Logan Whitehurst Newgrounds animation scene during the early 2000s.
I don't think it's
and-
possible to be a minor figure in that scene. If you're in that scene, you're a major
No, yeah,
figure
yeah,
because you're one
right,
of 10
yeah.
people in that scene at most.
Yeah. Anyway, I used to watch his animations a lot when I was a kid, and I watched that one, which came out just recently, actually. And I thought it was really promising, and it was a shame that he left it unfinished.
Right.
But yeah, I would say I would give that song definitely 3 They Might Be Giant stars.
Good.
It's not even a pun or a, yeah. So I think that's the end of our podcast.